Good morning, good morning. All right, I'm doing this video to kind of answer something that I think is a repeated question in the world of black sci-fi, black comic books, all of that, cartoons, and that is not only diversity of characters, but diversity in genre and why there aren't more black characters in manga. And manga is the art form of cartoons and comic books that originated out of Asia. All right, let me just say that. I think it's Japan mostly, but I don't want to say specifically because I think China is so big that anything come out of Asia probably done came out of China. But I'm more familiar with the Japanese version. I was privileged to go to both Japan and China. And when I went to Japan specifically, I went to look for manga. I went to look for the printed version of anime. I've been down or appreciative of anime since I was a child. Early form, it came the same time as the American cartoons. So I'm into Speed Racer. I'm into Kimba, the White Lion, right? If you look, that might even be, similar to the Lion King story. So those very early elements, before I saw Akira, I was into anime, right? Anime has a few striking characteristics. The striking characteristics that I like, or just a few of them, because I don't know if I'm going to list all of them, but the stories are very emotional. They have wide emotional ranges, very much like Kung Fu movies, right? And Kung Fu movies have, not all of them, but Kung Fu movies, you have that silly, corny punk dude, my master. Sometimes they have overly feminine women. They'll have that little laugh. And I'm familiar with that from Kung Fu movies. So now in manga or anime, they really have that, right? They have a very high, broad swing of emotions. So much that in shows like Attack on Titan, which is about giant humans that attack a city, the character has so much emotional expression that I can't take it. Every episode he goes, I want to kill all the Titans, and he's screaming like at the top of his voice. And then there's other ones that have emotional range that are just really just cries for strength, and that's like Naruto. Is another one where he summons energy, so it takes great emotional calling in ways that American characters, the mutants don't have to do anything. Wolverine has a little pain coming out of his fist, but Naruto is summoning God, earth level strength. So it's something that is higher. So he does have emotional strength. The next thing, so that's one, and that's really in the telling. It comes out in the printed stories. You'll see a panel with just a face going, ah! and a background behind it of just explosion, right? That's a level of emotion that you won't see in American comic books. Then another characteristic is the eyes, the details. I think we can all connect with that now because eyes have been all we've really seen about people for the last year. 2020 was the year of masks, so we probably don't even know what a lot of people look like if it wasn't for their eyes. So the eyes are very the window to the soul, and I say that because you're dealing with an art form that is very emotional. It's all about internal emotion. The characters' bodies are less detailed. They're practically generic. The things that they distinct with manga and anime is really the eyes and the face and the head. Now, I say generic, but there's a large swing because they do in Japan. If you go and check out the Japanese manga, it is very sexual, and just like Americans, comic books are sexual, and they have things for fanboys and stuff like that. In manga, they don't just have things; they blur the line with pornography. You know what I'm saying? And that's the scary slope. So what we see on the cartoons is very watered down. Is for kids, but they're very voluptuous. Their women look just like the American or Western comics. They're very voluptuous, but their bodies seem sometimes generic. Not saying generic to humans, just generic to the manga body. It's like the eyes. You can tell a manga cartoon or comic book just from the eyes. So you can do the same thing with the bodies. So those are some of the two things that I really, look, is the emotional swing. Sometimes it feels like it's adolescent because adolescent humans have less control over their emotions than supposedly, right? Than adults. And that's kind of what makes manga feel like adolescence thing. My favorite mangas are Akira, of course. That's one, but I still didn't like the ending that much. I like the setup. I like the world. It's about kids that stumble into a testing facility and end up getting tested on and becoming super powerful and capable of destroying the world. Another one that I like is Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's you've seen them try to do it in live action. It was trash. Don't ever let M. Night Shyamalan near any properties anymore. He lost his director card. What's another one? Of course, Speed Racer. Can't go wrong with Speed Racer. And then from there, I gotta just step away from some of the more extra popular ones, and I go with Ghost in the Shell. I go with another one called Blame, and I like my anime with a sci-fi connection to it, and they do incredible sci-fi. Like when you watch Ghost in the Shell, it's some cyber futurism type stuff, cyberpunk. It's there. So my next point is, again, with black people in anime and manga, we've got some really good stuff. We got a Japanese-based black company that's doing Cannon Buster. They just did the Black Samurai, both on Netflix. I like the Samurai story better than the Cannon Buster because I think the Cannon Buster had emotional range that I don't embrace as much. It looked beautiful, but again, it was on that Attack Titan level, and it was very silly, And then we have Tuskegee heirs, like Heirs, heirs, like the heir of, you leave a legacy. So these are the kids. It's a comic book out of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. My man Greg produces it or writes it, and it's got the manga style. My man, I forgot my man's name. He's gonna kill me. But the illustrator is probably the best black illustrator of that style. He owns it, and he's gonna kill me. But I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna do something on it specifically. But Tuskegee Heirs, and then they have Searching for Soraya. Is another, and I have them both, so I have both of their comics, or I have a number of the Tuskegee Heirs. I think they're up to 4 or 5, and then I have the Searching for Soraya. I backed that on the Kickstarter, and then there's another one that I think needs to be mentioned, kind of in that circle. Is Asani the Were Spider, but I'm not going to say that it's manga, right? I'm not going to say that's black manga, but it's definitely black young adult. Crescent City, and that's by Greg Elise out of New York. And I have those books as well. like them, but I don't know if we will consider it manga. So I don't know. I'm not gonna harp on that on this blog, but it's good, right? Then there's another one that I'm not gonna say is manga, but probably manga-ish, and that is Crescent City Monsters by my man Newton Levanis out of New Jersey. New York, New Jersey. Dang, I think it's New York, but we talked about New Jersey, and he's a really cool dude. Consulted with me on my Kickstarters and why I'm surviving in the Kickstarter world. So that's that. And then I'll just say my man Mervin of Paperboy, he's knocking it out for me as my cover illustrator for my manga product called Fingernails, and he's out of South Florida, and so look for that. And my Fingernails is my pitch to that, because it may be out by the time you check this out. The Kickstarter is live, right? The Kickstarter is coming up. Search for it. I'll put the link here in this, how you can get a part of it early. Fingernails is a young girl, 16, and her father's a gargoyle, and she's a gargoyle. And gargoyles fight and protect humans from immortal predators, vampires, werewolves, and such. And in this series, Fingernails, she teams up with a ghost because she's clairvoyant and she can see spirits. And she teams up with a ghost to kind of prove to people that ghosts aren't bad. The supernatural is not bad. It's a step past Scooby-Doo, where Scooby-Doo just investigates the paranormal. Fingernails knows that she sees ghosts everywhere. So she's like, y'all don't even know how many ghosts are around, and they're not even bad, so come on. And so she challenges people to show her a bad ghost, and she wants to go out and investigate and solve those crimes. So, and she teams up with her friend Mercedes, who is a wannabe witch. Her trusted pet partner is a cat, black cat named Kimmy. And her ghost friend is Savannah. And they all team up to form Fingernails Paranormal Investigations. So there you have it. Please check it out. The first episode is the A Case of the Leprechaun's Gold. As you know, I have a character called the Twa Man. So it's inspired by that. I'll say that. And it's a very fun story. So that's that. And then I have another anime manga inspired project called The Last Harlemite, and I just finished that, so I think I'll just address that on the next one, and then I'll talk about why black people are drawn to anime, why I like it, and what we are trying to do, what sets us apart, because there's difference between Tuskegee Heirs and Cannon Busters and say Attack on Titan and Full Metal Alchemist and the Death Note, even Avatar, even Akira, okay? So those are some of the top, and Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon. I have copies of that and I read it. So I'm going to come back and probably compare some of the what I think, right? Because I'm a creator. I can be right or wrong, but it's my opinion, and that's how you should take it, right? Just use this as a case study. All right, so anyway, Jeff Carroll, out. Thank you. First part, next part on my way home. Peace.